There's a lot of Knicks fans out there that finally got the news they've been waiting for. The Minutes Police got a major dub last night. Mikal Bridges calls out Tom Thibodeau to the media, saying you're playing us too many minutes. And he follows that up with the first buzzer beater of the season and the first buzzer beater since R.J. Barrett against the Boston Celtics a couple of years ago. We're going to break all this down on today's show. But first, I want to hear from you. What is your one-word reaction to the Bridges comments of saying we're playing too many minutes and going to the media and saying we're playing too many minutes? Let me know your thoughts down below. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. First off, just want to apologize for not getting a lot of content on the channel this week and missing the last two watch parties. It's been a crazy week of NFL free agency, and we've been on Aaron Rodgers' watch. And if you're an NFL fan, we work on Aaron Rodgers' time, not our time. But on today's video, we're going to react to the latest news and rumors around Bridges, Tom Thibodeau, and why I believe a lot of Knicks fans got the news they were waiting for when it comes to Tibbs and the minutes, and also Mikal Bridges coming through in the clutch. And I have a very interesting stat about Bridges and why he is the ultimate X factor for this team. Bridges saying this to Stefan, Bondy, longtime New York Knicks insider, quote, "You know, I'm on that side because I'm a starter, and I'll play a lot of minutes. Sometimes it's not fun on the body, but you want that as a coach. But also, talk to him a little bit, knowing that we're good enough and got a good enough team where our bench guys can come in and we don't need to play 48 or 47 minutes. We've got a lot of good guys on this team that can take away the minutes, which helps the defense, helps the offense, helps tired bodies being out there and giving up all these points. It helps us keeping fresh bodies out there." Yeah, no, he's not really arguing it. Sometimes I think he just gets stuck in his ways and he gets locked in and he just wants to keep the guys out there. Sometimes you have to tell him, like Landry Shamet, for example, or somebody can keep them out there. They're playing really well. So Mikal Bridges complains to Tom Thibodeau that he's playing too many minutes, and then he tells Stefan Bondy he is playing too many minutes. Let's start with this. The Minutes Police, major dubs for you. Eat the dubs, Jameis Winston style. This is a huge win for all of you out there. No doubt about that. And is this the first time a New York Knick under Tom Thibodeau has publicly complained about playing 2 minutes? Remember Josh Hart last year saying, nobody wants to come out of the game. I want to play all 48 minutes. Dante DiVincenzo played over 50 minutes in a couple of games last year. And it looked like he was upset anytime Tom Thibodeau took him out of the basketball game. Mikal Bridges does have a point, though. So let's start with this. Tommy Beer, also follow on Knicks Twitter. Go hit him up. Awesome dude. Says Knicks players have logged more than 40 minutes in a single game, a total of 92 times this season. That's more than twice as many as any other team in the NBA. The most individual 40-plus minute games by a team this season. The Knicks are at 92. Denver at 43. And the Sixers and Boston, they are at 42 and 31. Also this from Tommy. Games with more than 40 minutes played this season. Mikal Bridges, 26. Josh Hart, 22. OG Anunoby, 17. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 1. Games with more than 37 minutes played this season. Josh Hart, 44. Bridges, 37. OG, 33. Donovan Mitchell, 1. Games with more than 40 minutes played this season. Mikal Bridges, 26. I think it's 27 after last night. Every other player on the Cavs combined, 1. Every player on the Thunder combined, 3. Fascinating to consider the differences in coaching styles. I think we've learned at this point that Tom Thibodeau, he is stuck in his ways. Tom Thibodeau is Tom Thibodeau because he's Tom Thibodeau. Old dogs do not learn tricks. When you have the success that Tom Thibodeau has had, which we know has resulted in winning the NBA championship, you're going to lean on what you know. And what he knows is playing his guys a lot of minutes. So Bridges talked to Bondy yesterday about this, and then Tom Thibodeau was forced to talk to the media prior to tip-off yesterday. And he kind of just said Mikal Bridges was a liar. Said, for one, we never had a conversation about it. The facts are the facts. When you look at our team, And the way it works, Jalen plays 35 minutes. And I think he's 20th or 21st in average minutes played. Karl-Anthony Towns, who is a primary scorer, plays less than Jalen. He's like 25th in the league in average minutes. Your wings play more, right? They're matched up with primary scorers. The way it works, if Jason Tatum is in the game or Jaylen Brown is in the game, OG will be in the game and Mikal will be in the game. When those guys go out, our guys go out. When they come back, our guys come back. We try to keep them matched up. If you look at the league, all those guys are playing 36 or 37 minutes, whether it's Durant, Tatum, Brown. The wings are going to play more. They are primary wing defenders. That's the way it works. And then sometimes you're caught up in matchups. The Lakers are big wings, so sometimes you deal with that. I don't really know what's going on here, but I don't like it, to be quite honest with you. Even if Bridges is right, even if Thibodeau is right, I don't like it. And somebody is lying, because Bridges said he approached Tom Thibodeau and had a good conversation with him. Then Tom Thibodeau said, me and Mikal Bridges, we never talked about that. I do know this. In life, it's hard to outrun a narrative. Once you have a narrative slapped on you, it's really hard to escape that. And I don't think Tom Thibodeau, even if he changes his philosophy to what the Oklahoma City Thunder do or the Cleveland Cavaliers do, which is they don't play guys over 35 minutes, or the Memphis Grizzlies, I think they have one player averaging more than 30 minutes this year. Even if he does that, he's not going to outrun the narrative of Tibbs runs his guys into the ground. Tibbs plays his guys too many minutes. And Tibbs is the reason his team always gets hurt. And I do think Tibbs gets a bad rap for this at times. Because you just saw the data. Jalen Brunson, top 20 in the league in minutes. Karl-Anthony Towns, top 20 in the league in minutes. But then you look up Mikal and Josh Hart, and they're at the top of the league in minutes. So I understand. Because there are times when the Knicks are up by 25 late in the fourth quarter and the starters should be out. But at the end of the day, we know Tom Thibodeau is approaching every game like a playoff game. And he wants his guys out there. At the end of the day, with the bench the Knicks have, I don't really think it's all that logical to blame Tibbs saying you need to be playing Pacome Dadier a little bit more, or you need to be playing these other guys a little bit more. I have no problem with Mikal Bridges telling Tom Thibodeau he thinks he's playing too many minutes, and he thinks that the bench should play a little bit more. No problem at all. I actually like that the coach and the players have a dialogue. And I like that Mikal Bridges said the conversation went well. But why the hell are you going to the media to say you had this conversation? This is a Knicks issue, which means it should stay between the Knicks. This is a locker room issue. It should stay in the locker room. This conversation should have never left the walls of wherever it happened. In the locker room, Tom Thibodeau's office, on a phone call, wherever. It's teenage girl shit to go to the media and say this. Why are we gossiping and telling the media about a problem in a conversation that you had with Tom Thibodeau? I absolutely was pissed off that he did that. I was a little pissed off he said it because all the other dudes from Villanova cut from a little different cloth. They would never say that. But it is what it is. But what a day. What a day for Mikal Bridges. You go out from calling out the coach, essentially calling him a liar without saying it because he called you a liar, so then you're calling him a liar. And then you hit the game-winning bucket. The first buzzer beater in 3 years, maybe 4 years for the New York Knicks. That might have been 2021. It was 2022. January 6, 2022. And when you call out the coach and you ball out, that's some big dog shit. It is. That's all I'm going to say. And I have a lot of respect for the way he played last night. And you know what? Hopefully he gets it going. Hopefully what we saw last night is the news we want to know about who he can be. And hopefully when Jalen Brunson comes back, Mikal Bridges doesn't go back to being a corner boy like Elfrid Payton. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I got more thoughts on this. Sub for Knicks Stubbs. 2 big wins on the West Coast trip without Jalen Brunson. That is not easy. Major credit to this team. They're playing hard, and they are getting the job done without their best player, and I'm fired up about it. And we're going to be live on the channel this Saturday, I think. They play Saturday. We're live. We're back in the saddle. Sub for Knicks Stubbs. Help us get to 61,500 subscribers. Bridges gets the game ball. What a shot. What a shot. Josh Hart, you owe Mikal Bridges Chipotle for about a year, my friend. Would have been the second game this year Josh Hart cost the Knicks a game by just being dumb. Mikal Bridges, outside of that shot, was awesome. It was maybe his best game of the season. I know you could talk about the San Antonio Spurs game on Christmas, but he had an impact, it felt like, on every play. He scored or assisted on 6 of the final 7 field goals made by the Knicks. The Knicks are now 9-1 this year when Bridges scores 25-plus points. And they are 13-2 when he shoots above 60% from the floor. Mikal Bridges remains the X factor for this New York Knicks team. When you give up the control of 4 of your own first-round picks, another first-round pick, and a swap, you need that player to play at an all-star level. And when Mikal Bridges does that, 25-plus points, you're 9-1. When he shoots better than 60%, you're 13-2. When Bridges plays well, the New York Knicks win. So, Mikal, keep playing well. Hats off to you, man. You were awesome last night. 21 shots. Can you shoot 20 shots every game? That's what we want. That's what we want. We want you to be aggressive. But more than want, we need you to be aggressive. Give me some 25s in the chat. Mikal Bridges lit it up last night. Josh Hart, 4-14. We need you to start being better on offense, man. Down the stretch, they were treating you like Draymond Green. They were literally guarding you like Draymond Green. I understand you're struggling. You got to fix it. This team is so much different when you make threes. When Josh Hart makes threes at an average clip in the NBA at 36-37%, this team can beat anyone in the NBA. When Josh Hart does not make threes, it's tough for them to beat anybody. And please, it's March. Lock in. This is your month. This is Jalen Brunson's month. This is when you guys lock in. You can't move on the baseline after a make, brother. Or not after a make. When it's after a make, you can move. Not after a make, can't move your feet. Come on, beast. Come on, man. That's just unacceptable. OG Anunoby, I thought, was awesome. I thought he looked good. I thought the shot is starting to fall. Hit some contested threes. He had 1 3 where he was jab stepping and he just rose up like Kevin Durant. OG Anunoby over the last couple of weeks is really starting to come along on the offensive end. Karl Anthony Towns, I thought, played decently well. Was what it was with Towns. I wasn't blown away with his performance. Thought he was decent-ish on defense, but he shot the ball well, and he was efficient. And that's something I could appreciate. Deuce McBride hit a couple of big buckets for the Knicks last night, and he continues to be someone that, when he plays, the Knicks just win their minutes. I know Scoot Henderson and Denny Advia combined for 60, but you only gave up 113 points, including the overtime period. We even got to see a little of Mitch Robb and Karl Anthony Towns play last night together. Wasn't for that long, but I think that was actually the first time this year that we've seen those two share the court together. I want to see it a little bit more. You got a lot of tools now in the arsenal. Use them to your advantage. Landry Shamet is what it is with Landry Shamet. Mikal Bridges seems to think that he's a little bit better of a player than he is. All right, that's because they got some sick dance moves together dating back to Phoenix. Campaign, thought he gave you some good minutes as well. All you got to do, keep the boat floating. Keep the boat floating without Jalen Brunson. Precious, is he out of the rotation? Is he just not on this team anymore with Mitchell Robinson back? Is he dealing with an injury? I don't know. We'll continue to see how this rolls. The Knicks, what I really liked was we're able to shoot the outside shot again. 31 threes, I'd like it to be a little bit higher, but you knocked down 38% of them, and they've been struggling as a team from distance. On defense, you can't let Scoot Henderson go for 30. You can't let Denny Advia go for 30. You allow the Portland Trailblazers to shoot 40.5% from 3. Still need to be better on the perimeter defensively, but what a game. 40 lead changes. You blow it, it's over, and Mikal Bridges hits it. I don't want one shot to change my total opinion of the game. You should never be in that close of a game with Portland, but you got to win. You got to win. And when you are without your best player, we'll take it. We'll take it. Make sure you are following me on social media. We could chop it up more about the Knicks at @MarshallGreen_ on Twitter and IG. Let's go Knicks.